What's up? What's poppin'? How you doing? What's new? I thought we could talk more about strangers. You know, this last video I uploaded recently was about the strangers that helped me at the airport, and then we met up again in Spain, and we're still in contact. We're still in touch. Um, but yeah, like, how do you guys view those kinds of situations? Like, have you had, angels help you? Strangers? Stranger angels? Instead of stranger danger, stranger angels. I don't know. But that's what we're talking about tonight. I'm in my Jelaba? No, I don't know. I think Jelaba is the really thick material, no? Or is it the same? I don't know, but it's interesting. Like a lot of Moroccan clothing has hoods. And they're usually like super pointy. Hi Rahim. How are you? But yeah, it's getting a little bit cooler here. A little bit, not too much, but where are you guys from or where are you at? So yeah, my last video was about so I was going from Morocco to Spain, and you can watch the video as well, but um I had called, like I had planned a taxi, like scheduled it, but everything is so like not everything, but like many things um are just kind of as it is or whatever. Like it wasn't with like a company, or something like that. Just someone who drives their car. But like even as a like recommended from an acquaintance. So anyways, as some of you might know if you've been watching some of my recent videos, like my back just went out recently, so like I needed help or more help with my baggage and stuff like that. And like the driver couldn't even find the apartment. I sent him everything he needed, but he like couldn't figure it out. I don't know. And he was like showing me pictures of where he was. I'm like, no, just go to the, you know, like. Anyways, finally he said he was at this one cafe. I was like, okay, well I know where that is. Just fine, like you're very close, but I need you to come help me with my bag. He's like, just come out. I'm like, look, like I have a back problem right now. You know, if I come out, like I'm not going back up. Anyways, he didn't speak enough English, for us to understand each other. Um, but I said, okay, just wait, and I'll come down then. But I was like, give me a little time, and like he stopped, like he just stopped responding, and I like I think he blocked me. Like I'm just like, what the what's wrong with you, bro? I scheduled it with you. I explained everything. And I told you I have a back problem. And then you just block me and leave. Like, what the hell kind of service is that? You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's like a lot of things are not, with proper companies here. There are some things, but, of course, they're going to be more expensive or bougie. They do exist, but yeah, it's, I don't know, I would say it's rare. But anyways, like thankfully I had already like texted my landlord. He knew, what was going on because I explained. Um and he was like, "Oh, I'll take you." He's like, "I'll take you to the airport." I was like, "Thank God." you know? Ugh. So anyways, that was like the first like just surprising and kind thing that happened to me that day, you know. But starting off, it was chaotic and crazy, and just, you know, what kind of a human like will just block you when you need help? Like, what the hell? Um. So, anyways, yeah. Then I got to the airport, and you know, I generally ask for. I mean, I always ask for. If you've seen my other videos, I always ask for a wheelchair. Hi, Simon. To go through the airport because you know just this the walking, it's a lot. So anyways, like the flight, like the information was like changing a bit. We were getting emails, and then everybody was like really upset because the flight was then delayed. And of course, like if you have some physical health problems and your flight is delayed, you're like you're also freaking out, you know. So it's like a series of like bad things, good things happening that day, you know, like um so, you know, that was the second bad thing or whatever, right? The second negative thing. Um so the second positive thing though was that these strangers from Spain who were also visiting Eswera in Morocco, um I had asked them, I was like, oh, it's delayed or whatever, but we had to use Google Translate because they're speaking Spanish, I speak English, you know. And so we understood though to each other, okay, it's delayed and this is how much it's delayed. And I was like, oh God. You know, my back is already finished, you know? So of course I keep like kind of freaking out, looking around, like where am I supposed to like lay down? Because that's the best relief I get is like being horizontal or like at least at least reclined, you know? Um so anyways, they like offered to help me like go and find a place and help advocate, and yeah, it was just really sweet. And we exchanged numbers then, and they were like, yeah, like let's contact each other when we're in Spain then too. And so yeah, we did, and that was what you guys saw in the video as well, if you saw the video. But yeah, so that was us hanging out, and yeah, just giving some more context um, after that. But yeah, I'm curious if you guys have some stories yourself. Like, I know Catherine, she said she had a story. She said at a gas station. So, for those of y'all outside of the US, you know, some of you might call it petrol station or petrol. Or when I was in Ireland, what did they call it? A garage? I was like, what? Okay, anyways, different countries have different names for it, right? In America, it's called the gas station. So she said, at a gas station late summer in Florida, I was trying to wash the bugs off the windshield. So I'm assuming she must have already been traveling a lot and like she had a bunch of bugs. You know, you have to clean it off because they'll add up. So she had to clean the windshield at the gas station. Okay, so I was working for a solid 5 minutes on one spot. Like, dang, she must have been traveling far. When a kind man approached me from the car next to our car, he said, ma'am, that is a lesson in futility. Then he handed to me his own can of aerosol window cleaner and instructed that the spray was the only thing that would help. I thanked him so much and reached for his can of spray with my already sore arm. Like she's so good at storytelling, huh? I was so happy he was willing to correct and share his knowledge. We had not lived down there at that point, but when we did move, we encountered more angels. Aw. Super grateful to God for earth angels. They are the backbone of goodness and humanity. Now there is another story of the Rainbow Clan fights and local off-gridders offering protection for us at a Florida state campground. Girl, she's got some stories. Hold on a minute. But she said I will save that story for later. No lifelong friends made, just lifelong gratitude to God. He is our ultimate travel buddy. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Yeah. So yeah, one of my questions one was then like, you know, have you guys made friends with the strangers that like helped you the angel strangers, the angels, or were they just, you know, momentary, right? I would say the majority of like stranger angels that I've encountered were just like, yeah, momentary in that moment, during that time. But definitely, there are still some strangers that are like, I don't talk to them, other strangers really, but like, that I met before, but like I still have their contacts. Like we did like follow up a few times or whatever, but these specific strangers though, that were just in my last video, we're still in touch though. But yeah, I mean, I wonder. I think yeah, it's probably rare and super unique if you stay in touch and like for life. Like one story, what was it? Okay, this guy like sent his graduation invitation to the correct address. I mean, but his like grandma had moved from there or something. Maybe it wasn't his grandma. It was some family or something, like maybe extended family, but they had already moved from there or whatever. And so, anyway, so there was other people living there now, and I don't remember what did he do. Oh, he put it on like TikTok or on social media, and he was like, I got this invitation. I'm gonna put your picture on the mantle, the fireplace, or whatever. And so, anyways, it got a lot of traction. A lot of people saw it, and like they've actually met now, and like they have their own like account on Instagram. I followed it because I was like, it's so cute. Subscribe you, subscribe you like you, sister. Take it. Thank you, Saira. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where are you from? If you're still here, appreciate the subscribe, you guys. if you if you like to have deep conversations about things, that's generally what we do here on my lives. Um, I go live every weekend, sometimes twice a week, but these days just once a week on the weekend. I know often I do it on Sundays, but surprise, it's Friday. Oh man, this week was like chaotic for me. Oof. Just lots of hustling with teaching and lots of different students, and things just constantly change with these kinds of jobs. The tutoring is like they can cancel, they can reschedule. It's a lot. And then I'm working with different websites. Hey, it's 4 a.m. in India. Yes, enjoy your sleep. In Morocco, it's just 11:30 now. Take care. Thank you so much. Oh man, yeah. So I'm trying to think of other stranger stories. I There's one that I'll tell you here in Morocco. I mean, I would definitely say you still need to be careful, right? Like you can't just trust everyone. Um, but yeah, it's a really unique balance, right? Of like wanting to be open and friendly and like put out good vibes and accept good vibes and all that, but there are definitely a lot of crazy people out there, so you really have to be careful. And while in one situation that looks similar to another situation, you might choose to do things differently. So just really going with your gut and err on the side of caution, I would say. But do you guys have any stories like that with strangers? Maybe it's a very like very short amount of time too, where somebody just did something super kind. We call it also like random acts of kindness. Um, but yeah, it doesn't have to be like a really long story, but like I remember when I first came to Morocco, I rode the bus one time with some friends, and man, that bus got packed full. Like, get off me, bro. Like, for Americans, it's like, we're too close for comfort. We don't get that close. It's just a cultural thing, and it's not a cultural norm for us. We need space. Um, but I saw there was a child, maybe like 7 years old. He was sitting there. He was already on the bus, and then there was an older guy, and the boy stood up, and was like, "Here, you can sit here," to the older guy, which is, I'm like, oh, what a sweet young boy. Um, but the older man was like, no, no. He like gently pushed him like back down to sit down, and I was like, no, no, it's okay. I was like, they're both so sweet. Gosh, Scotland, what's up? How are you? I'm doing all right. Talking about strangers and angels and all of the things. I just uploaded the last video recently about my own encounter. Zion comedy reggae. Hey. Yeah, so I was just saying, like, I'm trying to think of other stories I've had. Um, I don't know if you guys have any other stories, but um, I can tell the other one if you guys don't have anything. I hope my Wi-Fi is like always crazy. And here in Morocco, so Inwi had been a problem here in Essaouira for me since July, and I guess generally it was being a problem. So then I switched to Morocco Telecom, and it was good. But then, like, I guess there was a fire in Marrakesh in one of the buildings or something. So like it was a general kind of uh, slowage or something for most people, or maybe just this area. I'm not sure, but yeah. So hopefully we'll be okay. Thank you, Zion. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I go live every weekend. Usually it's a deep topic. Sometimes I'm learning more of the language here, Amazigh, the indigenous language. But most of the time it's talking about deep topics. But yeah. So I appreciate hearing your guys' stories too. I know some people have shared some. Um, and yeah, like I said, maybe it just sometimes is such a small thing, but it means so much, right? So like if we can just be kind to each other and do that small thing, it can last for a long time. Maybe it can last for the rest of that day for that person, or it can last for a week, or they'll still think about you after a month or a year, just like, oh, how sweet that person was, and what they did for me, or something like that. Hey, I don't know what to call you. I'm like, should I call you English? I wish I knew some of your guys' names, but I know who you are. I mean, I remember your name here on YouTube, but your username. But so yeah, we're just talking about strangers. But yeah, no. So the other story I wanted to tell you guys was, okay. So there was one time. Again, be careful, right? Use your good judgment. Be safe. Um, but yeah, I was crossing the border for Ceuta, Morocco and Spain, and as you can imagine, with my back problems I've had for 15 years, um, depending on how I'm feeling that day or week or month or whatever, like, or that moment, um, it can be even more difficult for me, to walk across that border. And anyways, oh, and I had went to the pharmacy too to get medicine, and it's always like it's always complicated too because all of the languages, right? And trying to get medicine, and so I was there at the pharmacy like for a decent amount of time. And so there was another guy that I mean there was other people, other customers, more than another guy, but I remember seeing him, um, because then I saw him again at the border, and but he also said like, oh yeah, I saw you in the pharmacy. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. Well, but he wasn't speaking that much English. Okay, but we understood each other enough for me to understand that. Oh, it's so complicated. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I had crossed the border, uh, went to the pharmacy, randomly saw that guy. I didn't interact with that guy, but I remember he had that jacket on or what, like. Um, so when we were at the border, it was nighttime, right? Um, nighttime always just seemed easier to cross for me personally. There's less people. I cross during the week. You know what I mean? Like because I hopefully, you know, would not have to stand very long or wait as long or whatever. It's just easier overall. So nighttime is usually smoother. So it was just like me and him, like at the border. Um, and so of course, like there's a little chit chat or whatever, and I was like, oh, is that so Tamazight? As I always ask, do you speak Tamazight and the indigenous language here? And he was like, huh? He's like, yeah. But he didn't speak that much English, but a little bit. But then we were also using the Google Translate and stuff. And he's like, oh, I can. Do you need because so then we had crossed at that time, and we were like almost to where the taxis are. If you know the border, like there are the grand taxis there. But of course, it's nighttime, and it's always more expensive than at night if there's no other people there, which there weren't. There usually aren't. Um, but he was like, "Oh, I can take where are you going? Like, I can take you." Um, I think where was I staying? I think I was staying in Tanger. So it's pretty far. Um, but I know the process. All the grand taxis. Like, I mean, I usually don't stay that far away, but that time I was. Um, but of course, I was like, in any country, like that's not very comfortable to me. Um, Someone is a stranger. I don't generally accept those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like because you just don't know. Like you hope that people have the best intention, but you just don't know. But I was like, okay, let me call my friend that also speaks Tamazight, and you know, there's a little bit more safety there. Just then people know where you are, and like there's some accountability. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Just always thinking smarter. um, so of course, like I was still thinking about it as we were walking, and of course the call, and I was like, yeah, okay, okay, we can go. Uh, we stopped in where was it? Martil, because he lives in Martil, and hey, Dub, Anir. I thought Anir was like king or something, because I know a lot of people will like rename themselves, or at least some acquaintances I know, like, but Ang Anglis. That sounds like English. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we stopped in Martil, right? Uh, cause what did he? Because he said he was gonna take me to. We were still trying to understand each other, y'all. It was so, it's so complicated. um, with languages. But I think he was saying he would take me to Tetuan, to Tetuan. Is that right? Yeah, to Tetuan, and then I would take the Grand Taxi from there. But I was like, no, no, it's okay, just you take me anywhere then I'll just I'll get the Grand Taxi. Um, but no, he was insisting. I was like, okay, 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 thank you. But he's from Martell. Or at least he was staying there, and so he wanted to go. I don't know, get something from. I don't know. So of course it's like, just you don't know, man. And I got the feeling then that he just wanted to like maybe show me his city, or like he's proud of his city, or because like he stopped at the handouts, and just like I don't know what you call it, like just you want to show off, like I don't know. So I was like, okay, okay, okay. But then he was like, oh, you want some tea? You can have some tea. I was like, oh, I was just very honest. I was just like, your family? That's your family is there? He's like, oh no. I was like, no, no, I don't, no, thank you. So I stayed in the car while he went into his house and got something. And because I'm gonna repeat it. You just don't know. um, but God bless him. He's a very nice man. He was a very nice man, and so then he came out, and then we made it to Martel, or no, sorry, to Tetuan, and so I took the Grand Taxi from there. So it turned out well, and like we tried to stay a bit in touch, on WhatsApp, but we can't understand each other. you know. Oh, it's so funny. The flowery language that you guys use, when it translates sometimes it doesn't always make sense then, or like the actual meaning, because it's so like overly flowery. Like what is it like in Arabic, you know, like God bless you from I don't know I don't remember all the sayings, but like peace be upon you, and what's an example, not a real example, but just how it kind of feels to me, like God bless you from the heights of the mountain of the spring of the under earth. I don't know, just like some old English or something. uh, Anyways, yeah. So that was, obviously really nice. So yeah, um, it's an interesting balance. Um, yeah, I know. Like there are some other people who say like they want to welcome me and stuff like that to their home, and while I'm very appreciative, it's. I've also had like some weird things here too, like yeah. So usually it's like, no, thank you, thank you. I know, like culturally, I think you guys generally don't say yeah or no, right? Maybe you'll say like inshallah. Because me and some friends were together, some Moroccan friends, and I feel like I've told this story before, but like they were speaking probably in Darija, and they were talking about, but then I think the one guy was translating, and but they're saying like they were inviting each other, like, oh, do you want to come over, or do you want to, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, inshallah, inshallah, God willing. But in America it's like no, I can't. Just you're very honest about like no, I can't come to your house, like or like no, you can't come to my house right now, like like so I was just like very honest. I was like, oh no, I mean like my place is very small and like, you know, like it's not good for having a group of people, you know, like I don't know. And so like they were laughing, you know, because I guess culturally, or at least in that situation, you know, I guess you're just supposed to say like inshallah or something. I don't know. Or yes, welcome, even if it's not like true. You know, I mean, we've talked about that before, you guys. We've talked about that. Just the cultural difference. It must be a great friendship for both of you. Exchanged languages and learned different cultures. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, anytime. It's always interesting. Just every time I go out, of course, because like I feel like every time I go out, I'm always asking like, "Do you speak Amazigh? Is that what Amazigh?" And um, you know, it's always nice to like learn new words and even for those small brief moments, right? Um, have some we say like camaraderie or like you know, good vibes, good energy, you know. Um, yeah, for sure. Do you guys have some stories? I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I feel like some Moroccans too will be like, nobody's doing that here, or like nobody's nice here, or something, or just like super negative things. I'm like, bro, that's not true. But like, I don't know. Maybe it depends on the city. Like I've said before, like I swear I hear, man, like people are so nice. Like way more friendly than in Marrakesh. But I feel like that's yeah, it's the same in the US too. Like my city is much more friendly than like Chicago. Just in the context of like just our mentality, right? Like when you're in a smaller city, you just do everything slower or like kinder maybe, I don't know. We're not on that grind all the time. But some people are crazy. Some people are crazy. Mm, I feel like, you know, in general, I feel like people are, I want to say people are good, but I don't know. It's hard to know, right? But like, I want to say, like, maybe in general, people will at least be nice. Right? Like, um, one of the jobs I had was in research, and so that would entail me to talk to strangers, right? And ask them really personal questions sometimes because it's you know these the research is for studies like for data, so you have to collect data, right? And it's interesting because I had to travel from my city to Chicago area, and I was expecting a lot more people to be rude because you know it's like I'm almost violating their space, right? I mean, again, this is American culture, right? Like we like our space. Like, why are you coming up on my door? Okay, why are you knocking on my? Why are you bothering me? Right? Like that's a lot of our mentality, right? Um, but yeah, most people, even if they weren't interested to be in the study to participate, like at least the majority of people were really nice. And actually, I mean, surprisingly, I was really surprised that the majority did participate. I'm just like, dang, some of y'all, you need to ask questions. Like, you don't know me, you know? But, you know, I mean, obviously it was official. And like I had to carry a name tag, and of course I'm walking around with a tablet or laptop, depending on the company or institution. But yeah, yeah, certainly I had a lot of, not a lot, but some rejection, and like a small amount of that was like crazy, you know. Um, so that's why I always say too, it's about numbers, right? Like if you meet enough people, right, just keep meeting new people, and eventually you'll find like your people, or like the people that you want to give your time and energy to. I can't agree more. Dealing with people in Marrakesh is a little bit challenging. It's just a whole different vibe. Yeah, it's a whole different vibe for sure. Yeah, yeah. Marrakesh is busy, 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 busy. But I swear, it's like, people don't need to zoom, 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 zoom. For what? You know? Yeah. And really, like, yeah, I mean, it reminds me more of like home, um, like my hometown, because people are willing to like stop and help you, or like there's more of a sense of community here. Um, but yeah, I think that happens when it's smaller groups of people, right? Hmm. Yeah, so I was looking at the other points. Let's see. Yeah, so I talked about that, like something like some people just show up at the right time, right? And then man, sometimes how things just happen, and you really think it's like a coincidence, right? But some people call that confirmation, um, or like, oh man, it has different names, but like just that you're like really on your purpose. Then like, I don't know. I wish those things happened more often though, because they're amazing. But I feel like we often like just brush them off, like, oh, that just that's normal, or like maybe it's not normal, but like it was a coincidence. But like, you know, depends on your beliefs, but it's definitely a special feeling for sure. What is the best book you've read in your life? I wish I read more, for sure. I do wish I read more. It's such a like. I think it's like everybody's like favorite book, but The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. But I liked that book so much too that I read some of his other books as well. Um, The Pilgrimage, and the other one was something like I sat down by the river Piedra and cried. I love the way he writes, um, and especially like The Alchemist and The Pilgrimage. Like it's a journey kind of book. Um, One of the last like proper books that I read, because like what I do read now is more articles instead of books. I really like articles. Like they get in depth enough. Ow. But they're short enough. Um, that they're like more consumable for me. Like I can read them and then do something else. Um, we all have different attention spans, right? But I can't remember the name of the book, but it was about neuroplasticity. it's a big word, but how can I explain? I particularly remember one story from that book. Um, what was it? She had like a problem with her hand or something. Like she had some disabilities. Um, and basically like neuroplasticity is like rewiring your brain, I guess, something like that. Let me Google it to be precise here, but what is neuroplasticity? But basically, like she couldn't use her fingers and hand like properly, right? Like I think it was something like if she moved this one, it would have to move with it, or like she couldn't use her fingers separately or whatever. Basically, I think it was, if I'm remembering, it's been a while, but she like retrained her brain to be able to use her fingers properly, like um, and I think, was she a scientist too? I don't remember, but yeah, it's amazing. Like the human body is amazing, right? The things that we can do and like in the future, will do as we learn more, I think. It's really interesting to think about the things like, when you're stressed out, you're anxious, you can create physical problems for your body, right? So like why can't we, do the opposite, right? Like I feel like we should do that. We should be able to do that more. But I think that takes maybe a lot more of like being present, um, which we're not good at these days, I think. Um, and like yeah, being like proactive, like yeah, purposeful, because yeah, I mean, so like meditation, right? Like they talk about like some monks too being able to like basically change their body by meditating, right? And like melting the snow around them and stuff like that. Um, but it seems like that takes more time and patience and training and practice. Maybe, I don't know. But then why the negative thing seems so easy and so quick, right? Like how come we can do that so easily and quick? I don't know. But although like love, like when you're in love or like um what do they call it? Like all of the different chemicals and hormones, like endorphins, stuff like that. Like maybe that can be quick too, but yeah, I don't know if they're like comparable, but neuroplasticity is the brain's remarkable ability to change, adapt, and reorganize its structure, functions, and neural connections throughout life in response to experiences, learning, or injury. This lifelong process allows the nervous system to form new connections, strengthen or weaken existing ones, and even shift functions between brain regions. What? Clock it. Impacting everything from daily habits to recovery from conditions like stroke. Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. What about you? Do you have a favorite book? Yeah, it's hard to. I used to try to read more like nonfiction stuff, but I think I would tend to like pick up and put down those books. Like, yeah. But if it was like a novel, I would read those faster, but still take my time. Um, but it has to be a good novel. I'm really picky, particular about that. The expectation effect. That sounds amazing. So let me Google that. Expectations can be like, yeah, really are set up for disappointment. The expectation effect. Is it David Robson? Yeah, how our mindset shapes every facet of our lives. Yeah, man. Something I learned, many years ago was that just just have no expectations, like period. That's it. Like that's it. That's all you have to think, right? So like, don't have any positive expectations. Don't have negative expectations. Just go into the situation open, balanced. It is what it is, right? Because yeah, if we have expectations, oh, it's gonna be great, and then like it sucks, whatever it is, right? You're gonna be so disappointed. And if you have expectations that it's gonna be bad and then it's good, why be so negative, right? Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I asked Google that thing too. So it says, falling in love is not the opposite of getting ill from stress. So let's hear the differentiation, right? So rather the early stages, okay, the early stages of intense romantic love can be stressful, increasing cortisol levels and potentially leading to physical symptoms like nausea. Though lasting love, here we go, lasting love is linked to reduced stress and improved health. Yeah, I mean, that's what actual love is. But yeah, while stress negatively impacts health by suppressing the immune system, the connection between falling in love and illness is complex. Yeah. Okay, what was the other thing? Neuroplasticity. Everybody together now, say it. Neuroplasticity. Okay. Yeah, fate. Coincidence? Fate? I don't know. Um, yeah. Do you even want to interact with strangers? Some people just would rather not. Actually, a lot of people I know, think I'm crazy for even like talking to strangers sometimes. But that is just me. That is me. And like, probably I got that from my dad. My dad was always blah blah blah. Hey, how you doing? You doing all right? You good? You know, just talking to everybody. But yeah, we're very similar in that we appear to be outgoing, right? To be extroverted. But then it's like we don't want to stand there and like talk forever. Like I don't know. I feel like my dad is more introverted. I don't actually know. Or if he knows, but like I think we both like spending more time by ourselves. Um Now I will say though, if someone like can talk about deep things, then I'll stand there for like eternity. You know what I mean? Like when you meet someone and just like you're able to talk about all of the things. Love that. Do you have any favorite podcasters or content creators? It's interesting the whole podcast thing. I feel like I skipped that trend. I don't know. People still do it, but um content creators. I'm all over the place. Um I was just thinking about that recently because it's like if somebody tried to, like if the algorithm, if Google tries to figure me out, they can't. So like, I watch a Japanese vlogger. I watch another British guy in Japan. Um, I watch a Christian couple who are interracial. Just because I like them personally. You know what I mean? Um, I like their characters. You know, of everybody I just mentioned. I watch. Gosh, where were they from? Are they from the UK? No, one is from the UK, and where is he from? Germany or Italian? Italy or UK or France? I don't know. Anyways, but they're in France now, and they're like fixing up a chateau. They're renovating a chateau. Like what? Who else do I watch? Um, mm, I don't know. I kind of fluctuate too. I was watching one girl who was like redoing furniture, but then I kind of stopped watching her. I like the hustle, and also because like that's what my dad always did, like um, fixing things and then selling it. Um, mm, Man, I have to look. I watch a lot of HGTV sometimes. I like to see the change between the old and the new and their ideas. Um, I don't know. I don't. I might not be the best for suggestions on stuff because I like to just watch people. You know, I'm a people watcher. Whether it's on YouTube or in public, I like to like look at people. What are they doing? Why are they doing that? Um, yeah, just interesting people. Do you have a favorite? I watch Conan O'Brien a lot though, just because he's from the '90s and like so he's like familiar. I know he's on. I watch it on YouTube, but I know he has the podcast wherever podcasts are published. Oh, like this one. Sometimes I watch her. Some baking stuff, like interesting baking things. Not that I go and make those things. I like people. So random. But movies, I really like sci-fi. Like, but I haven't watched movies like lately, man. I just watch people on YouTube. Of course, I watch a lot of the news and stuff. Mm. Oh yeah, and then the other side to like talking about strangers, right? And like them helping you, but like of course, do you remember those times when like you offered help? Um, yeah, or like that idea of you see something, you do something. See something, you say something, not just looking or ignoring, you know? Like definitely when I'm seeing something like crazy happening, like even in Morocco, man, I say something. Like, did I ever talk about this? I don't think so. I don't know, but like there was some, they were drinking, and it was like young people, and it was like outside of the apartment, um, and I heard yelling and stuff, and like sometimes you hear the random yell, but like it kind of kept happening, like you hear something, you don't hear something, you hear something, you don't, like kept happening, and I finally like looked out the window and I see this girl. She doesn't have shoes on. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, no, forget this. I'm going outside. Like, I don't know. Um, Not that I'm gonna do something physically, but like, you know, it matters. Your presence matters, even, right? Even if you can't do something physically, like just your presence matters, and the fact that you care about something matters so much. I'll never forget what this one woman said. Oh, it says a lot. It says a lot about a lot of things. Um, but of course, like the language differences and problems, but yeah, this one woman, she spoke enough English, but I said nobody's helping. Like, what's like, these were like, I don't know, man. I don't know how old they were. Maybe they could have been 16, 17, 18, 20, 22 maximum. Um, but she was like, they don't deserve help. I was like, oh, well, damn. Yeah, I was really shocked. I was like, I think I'm more shocked by her statement than the kid's behavior, because it's like, unfortunately, kids often do that. Like, experiment and, you know, do make bad decisions. And so, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to hear that, you want to hear empathy, but um, you mostly watch Americans? Mel Robbins, yes. I follow her on Instagram. Robert Kiyosaki? Sounds like a Japanese name. Huh? Yeah, I like Mel Robbins a lot too. I mean, some of these creators, right? They are on all the different platforms. I really love Tabitha Brown too. She's also vegan. She's amazing. The things that like she talks about all the time, just like, yeah, love her. Robert Kiyosaki. Okay. Rich Dad Poor Dad, series of personal finance books. Oh, okay, cool. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So that story, I did get some video of that crazy night. Just I wasn't trying to create content, but I was doing it for like safety, like, you know, when you don't understand what's happening culturally, just like the ideas, what's happening, you can't hear, like you can't understand what the kids are saying, you can't understand what the adults are saying. Um, it's obviously not a safe situation, so like, yeah. And yeah, the police did come finally, because like they wouldn't stop. Like that's why it's like it was so frustrating, because like, what are you doing? Because it was like the middle of the night, right? I mean, of course, many times I'm still awake, which I was still awake, but it was like, yeah, probably like 3 or 4 a.m. or something. And some people, I don't know, 2, 3, 4. Some people were trying to sleep, of course. Um, and like they kept like yelling, screaming, yeah, fighting. It's crazy. But anyways, yeah, I'm just a big proponent of like, what's the phrase, you know? If you see something, say something, you know? Don't just sit there and do nothing. Like, what are you there for? You know? Do something. I think a lot of people think, though, like they minimize themselves or something. Like, they think, like, oh, I can't do anything, or like it doesn't matter, or it doesn't mean anything. But, like, literally, like, something means something, you know? Like, action. Some kind of action makes a difference. I think that's the argument too that people make too, right? Of like when people say like, "Oh, you can't change the world. I'm just one person. I can't. Oh, I can't. Right? I can't be bothered." But it's like if every person, right? Like it's that picture too of like the little fishes, right? Little fish one by one, but they can be bigger than one big fish, you know? Yeah. So, so interesting. Yeah, it's like we can always learn something new from these interactions with strangers. Like, you learn something about yourself, but you also learn something about someone else or something else, whether it's cultural or like language or anything, you know? In my opinion, it's usually dangerous to go out to the street in the middle of I am that crazy person. um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I've told this story before on live too, I think. But like just I've always been someone to do something no matter what if something bad is happening, right? To try to help in some way. So like at my apartment in my hometown in the USA, there was like a couple fighting. Like I think I was already inside my apartment, but did I hear something? I don't know. If I heard something, would I go out of my apartment or not? Let me think about that. It's been so many years, I don't remember. Probably depended on what I heard, but or I could have been coming home. I don't remember, but either way, there was a couple, a man and a woman, like physically fighting, like bow, bam, boom, like shaplow, like crazy, like and against a car, like against their car or somebody's car or something, and of course, at first I'm going to use my voice, right? Like, hey, 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 man, stop, like, of course, man, usually, in my experience in these situations, people who are fighting, they don't hear you and they don't want to hear you or whatever, right? Um, and I think I was like the only person around, or I was the only person outside. Of course, there's apartments everywhere. Like, of course, other people are aware, but again, it's like the middle of the night, right? And but I kept my distance though too. Like I'm not gonna like go and put myself in the middle of a fight because I'm probably not gonna throw hands. I mean, if I have to, I will. But like, I'm not gonna like go and assert myself in the middle of a fight. You know what I mean? Like, unless I was a ninja or had ninja skills. Wish I did. But yeah, so I stayed there and tried different things, like yelling, talking, whatever. But then finally, called the police too. But yeah, like just do something. Like, for me it's like I personally cannot just like sit there and do nothing because of like also like how I feel too, like during that time, but also after. Like the after, don't you all like kick yourself? You know? Like the thinking like, "Oh, I should have done." No, hell no. I'm going to do it. Yeah. But um I don't know. I know my family thinks I'm crazy though. So, citizen. From where in the USA? I'm from Illinois, 2 hours from Chicago. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. People say because I'm a teacher, teachers are like that, or I'm like everybody's mama. Don't do that. Good job. I don't know. I think too, like, I know just again, like because, like, I mean, some people in my family have said things to me because, like, I'm sure because they're concerned about my safety, but you know, but just thinking about the difference of personalities, right? Like I know some people are not okay with confrontation. Like there is such a thing as healthy confrontation, right? Like being assertive, say what you need. Um, yeah, like speak up for yourself and others, right? But I think some people are so like uncomfortable sometimes with the reaction of others or whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I don't want to have the afterthoughts. Since like how can you live with yourself? So maybe that's more strong in my mind than other people. Maybe other people can easily forget something, but for me it's like I don't know. Uh, but yeah, obviously I think every situation you just have to judge, you know? Like mm, obviously like yeah, if you feel like negative energy or like unhealthy energy, um like there's been some people on the street in the USA like who obviously are like imbalanced for whatever reason, whether it's mental health or like substances. And so it's like, for me personally, um, I feel like I have to like really judge those situations very carefully because, when you're imbalanced, like, um, you don't know how that person will react, like yeah. So you just, keep your distance, make decisions. But yeah, certainly be careful. Hisham, where are you from? Are you in Morocco? Did it just get darker? Oh, there we go. Anyways, yeah, it's really interesting to think about all of this stuff. Thank you guys for the conversation, the thoughts. It's been over an hour now. I know we've digressed per usual. I know it's Friday too instead of it's. I feel like Sunday I usually go live, but I said let me do it today. I just had a crazy week, like just all the different jobs and teaching and trying to figure that out. It's the like beginning of the school year and it's a bit chaotic. So I was like, let me do it tonight and then I'm gonna try to go out tomorrow or Sunday and hang out. It's weird, like during the school year, of course I'm generally more busy, right? But like then I do like I desire more to go out on the weekend than like to hang out with friends or like just do something. And it's weird because it's like you would think maybe you just want to like be by yourself and clear your mind, but maybe it's just that like too many things. You need to take the chance that you get then to like be with friends or do something you enjoy. But yeah, it is getting cooler here. I've actually used the heater a little bit. I just have a little space heater that I've had for, I don't know, a year or two. Just a little bit like at night. Close the door. That's good. How is it in Marrakesh, I wonder? I'm still in Essaouira, but I think it will stay the kind of the same weather here throughout the winter. Whereas I think Marrakesh gets cooler. I mean, that was, of course, comparing Marrakesh to itself, of course it gets cooler, but like, I don't know, comparing it to here. But I'm in Essaouira for now. I just really like it here. I do. I really like it here. But it's like, yeah, it is a pretty small city though, like compared to like Agadir, for example. So, how was your guys' week though? Was it busy? Was it calm? Was it freeing? Was it chaotic? Was it peaceful? Mine just really felt chaotic because it's like not only am I trying to balance these different websites and my schedule, but then I also have to plan my lessons, right? So I'm like, maybe I'll have like third grade, math, eighth grade social studies, like 10th grade algebra, like ugh, yeah. Sometimes I mean it's easier if I just have one subject and like one grade level, like that's you know the easiest or the best situation, but so my mind is just like everywhere. What is one of the most difficult English difficulties? What is one of the biggest difficulties English learners face in order to learn English? I'm in the suburbs of this. What? Awesome. I love Eswera, man. Have you always been there? People are so nice. Really, I really do love you. Um, mm, One of the biggest difficulties? It depends. I think it depends on what you want to use it for and where you're going to use it, right? Like who you're going to use it with. On the one website where I work with some ESL students briefly, um, I know many of them care about their pronunciation, um, because I feel like a lot of that has to do with Americans though too. That like our ears, because it's like we're so like stuck in America, or purposefully, like or like it's like we kind of want to stay in America, and like America's great, and like just this mentality of like, yeah, maybe not knowing about a lot of other cultures, and not everyone, okay, not everyone, but that's kind of the general stereotype, right, for the USA. Um, so I feel like our ears then, some of us, right, we're not used to like other people speaking with an accent. Um, so I think part of that is just the ignorance of Americans, or like the lack of diversity, um, for some Americans. So yeah, I feel like a lot of ESL students are concerned about pronunciation, and that's what they focus on a lot, just to be understood better, by people that they're like maybe working with. Um, so yeah, it kind of just depends on what you're using it for. Like if you're working with Americans, maybe pronunciation, but you've been in this area for a long time. Like, is your family from here? I'd still like to visit. I haven't visited City Kauki yet, but I'd like to do that. Um, what else is near? How do you say that place? Gauza, something like that. It's not too far. I hear some people living out there. Um, Gazwa, Gazwa. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people like City Kauki. Not really. I'm trying to see. I don't remember what else is near here, but oh yeah, of course, Diabat. It's not far, I think. Oh yeah, I think I did want to go. There's like this place, maybe where Jimi Hendrix went. Hmm. What is it? Igzwa? What's that? Let me see. Oh, is that what we see in English? Is the Gazwa? Maybe that's what it's called in Darija. Because when I put in Igzwa, it says Gazwa. What if I? Mm. You said you're sure about this spelling? You are sure? You're not sure? Let's see. It's asking me if I want to put it in French though. So yeah, I wonder if it's just a difference in language. You're not sure? Okay. Yeah, one place it says El Gazwa or La Gazwa, I guess is the pronunciation. I don't know. Um, but the English, because I always see it on the map. Because one day I was gonna go out there, but I didn't end up going there. But yeah, in English it's the English map or whatever. It'll say Gazwa. Wait, let me see how far is it. What? Yeah, it's just like 12 minutes or like 9 kilometers. But see, let me see City Kauki. City calculate, yeah, 27 minutes or 22 or kilometers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And then where Diabat, I think, is north. Oh, I think we kind of passed it, no? With the airport, something like that. Or we were near there. Oh, no? Maybe we were just near the sign. It says it's, wait, Diabat. Um, oh, no, wait. I didn't think Diabat was too far. Let me readjust. I don't know. Anyways, I definitely still want to get to City Kauki, but I think I'll let you guys go. I'll say Timin Siwin good night. I'm gonna eat my dinner. It's a late dinner. I wish you guys a good night, a good weekend. I hope you're all doing well, staying healthy, doing the best you can with the obstacles or triumphs that you're given. But yeah, go out there and meet some strangers. Hopefully, some stranger angels. It's amazing. Sometimes it seems so like hard, yeah? Like it seems like it's hard to maybe just be kind or something. Like, and it shouldn't be hard, you know? Like, see you, English. Hello, Ashoka. Um, but yeah, it's like be kind is so easy. Something so easy and free that we can do, right? Um, yeah. And like it can really mean just so much to another person. Like you just you never know what somebody is going through, and sometimes just this, even the slightest, the smallest, just the grin, the smile on your face, like can brighten someone's day. So it's like, why not? So that's it, y'all. I'll see you next weekend then for my live. I think I'll have another video this week. I already have it uploaded. Oh, who am I? Who am I? No, it's just like a shorter video, so it was easier to like edit and get ready and stuff. Um, but yeah, I am a huge procrastinator, so that doesn't help. But yeah, so hopefully you'll see a video before my next live. But all the best, whatever you guys are up to. Have a good weekend. Be safe, whether you decide to talk to strangers or not. Right? Use your instinct. Try to judge correctly. Sometimes we make mistakes, though. Sometimes you know, our instinct is off, right? Sometimes our gut is off. But be kind. Take care, y'all. Bye.